It's What's Up with Shimei Cook. I'm Shimei Cook. I got my guest co-host Kenlavinchi in the building. Oh, sorry, your mic wasn't on. It's got my guest co-host Kenlavinchi in the building. What's going on, Kendall? Oh, I'm sorry about that. All right, it's time for those hot headlines going on in our world. So going on, first of all, so recently a black high school student was suspended in Texas because of his dreadlocks.
Wow.
A teen in high school, a black teen in high school in Texas was put into in-school suspension for weeks because of school officials said that his dreadlocks were a violation of their dress code and grooming code. Daryl George, a junior at Barber Hill High School in Mount Bellevue, has been sitting in a small stool at school every day since August 31st. And he has received his schoolwork online and through classmates, according to his mother. I think we have audio. Do we have audio? Yes, we do. We have audio on his mom speaking to ABC News. Here's the audio.
A Texas school is once again in the spotlight for penalizing a student over his natural hair.
We're going to fight this fight.
Daryl George's mother says the 17-year-old has been punished for more than 2 weeks, held in school suspension because of his dreadlocks, which the school claims violates the dress code. The suspension was handed down just as the so-called Crown Act took effect in Texas. The law bans discrimination based on hair texture or hairstyles associated with race.
CROWN stands for Creating an Open and Respectful World for Natural Hair.
Barbers Hill Independent School District says its dress code is not in conflict with the Crown Act and that protective hairstyles are permitted but must comply with the dress and grooming code, which states male students' hair will not extend at any time below the eyebrows or below the earlobes.
Because of his hair, they said that when let down, his hair is below his eyebrows, which they never seen his hair let down because, as you can see from pictures, from all the pictures, his hair is always up. So they just basically picking with my child.
Yeah, they basically are. Kendall, what do you take on this situation? Now I'll go.
First, wow.
Yeah.
And also, Texas, I would say, is not the only state that this is happening in.
Yeah, that is true.
I know some schools in Maryland, actually, boys' schools, that used to have an issue with guys of color with long hair,
Wow.
locks, braids, and everything like that. So I feel like it's definitely an issue that needs to be dealt with in the school system and in the work field as well.
Yeah, and that's why certain states, I'm from Connecticut, they passed a bill called the Crown Act. So when you're in the workplace, that type of discrimination can be prevented for these type of issues. And this is not the only reason, like you said, this is not the only situation at that school either. Doing research, I did a deep dive. So it's really concerning. And to be honest, people have been saying then his mother should just take him out of school, which that's not easy to do for a child though.
Exactly.
What if she can't afford that, or what if you don't know everybody's situation? So in the end, Texas should be those schools officials should be ashamed of themselves for putting that. He's only a junior, so when you're a junior, I think you're like 15. No, you're like 17, 16.
Yeah.
You're only putting a 17, 16-year-old through this, and just because of his hair and.
And also, if she takes him out of the school, what about all the other kids that may have to go through the same thing?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, it's really, really concerning, but we got to roll with the punches. Let's get into Clorox. Clorox says a cybersecurity attack is still causing production delays. The company warned that a cyber attack in August is still causing widespread production delays and hurting its bottom line. Caitlin, what does this mean for Clorox?
Clorox, like
The
Clorox
wipes, yes, that it's a shortage. So they stop. So that means you're gonna have nasty floors. You're gonna have nasty desktops.
Not a COVID increase.
Not a COVID increase, exactly. So yeah, it's a cyber attack, but hopefully they said they should be running back their system in the next few weeks. So hopefully it doesn't be major. So everything will be dirty and COVID, and COVID's still going
Well,
around.
we got Lysol. So.
Yeah, we do have Lysol. That's true. You got Lysol too. All right, finally, a man allegedly shoots and kills his neighbor's son for trimming a tree over property line. A Florida man, Edward Dowinski, was arrested early Monday morning after allegedly shooting and killing his neighbor's 42-year-old son, who had been trimming tree limbs along his fence on Sunday evening. I think we have audio from CNN.
Hands on top of your head.
78-year-old Edward Dreadlocks surrendered to deputies without issue shortly after he told dispatchers he shot his neighbor Brian Ford for trimming trees on his property.
And I was pointing a gun at him at the time to get him off my property.
Right.
And then he kept walking towards me really close, so I shot him.
Part of the 911 call also picked up a conversation with Dreadlocks' wife.
Do you know where the gun is now? Is it near him?
My husband has it in his hand. He went to fire. I think he meant to scare him, and he hit him.
Dreadlocks told detectives he was afraid of Ford because he had spent time in jail before. But Sheriff Mike Chitwood says that doesn't excuse his actions.
You just can't walk around shooting people because they step foot on your property. That's why we have the police. You have to be reasonable in your approach.
The traumatic situation unfolded in front of Ford's 8-year-old son.
That he watched his father die in front of him and get shot.
All right, yeah. So, Caitlin, it's first of all, I said Kendall. Listen, this is an issue in our society, and this guy in Charlamagne the God always says the craziest people come from the Bronx of all of Florida. You're that man that will say, "Get off my lawn" for trimming a tree. It's not like he was bothering you. It's not like I'm not trying to be funny. It's just like how serious it is. What's your take on that, Kendall?
I think it's truly crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, it's not funny. It's not a funny situation at all. But I feel like as a person, what makes you so heated to the point where you want to do something like that over a tree?
Yeah, over a tree.
Like, why?
Yeah. So it's concerning, but that's how people are nowadays, and it's very concerning for our society. Yeah. But that was the hot report. Up next, we got, that was the hot headlines. Up next, we got the hot report. Caitlin, what do we have coming up in the hot report?
In the hot report, we have Tiana Taylor, Megan Thee Stallion, and Tyler Perry. Let's see what they got going on.
Yes, it's What's Hot with Shimei Cook. We'll be right back.
You're listening to What's Hot on NCCU AudioNet.